Random scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, Dash of Dave, oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here, and I'm back for another crafty video. So, we are doing more on the Lapbook. So, you know I said last time that I wanted to just finish off the inside without without filming it. So I did that. Just not the inside, but the tray for the inside. So I've done that. So those two will go together. Now I did think of not having this double layer here and just having it glued to that. But there was just a few complications in that those little corners that hold the pieces together are only corners. They don't allow for a cross intersection bit, so they don't allow you to go straight across. So I wouldn't have been able to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything here because I can only do a corner with it. So that's basically why I did it. Yeah, I mean, it gives it a bit more rigidity. It also gives you a bit more of a definite place for that to like rest when that closes. But that's the way it is. So I am going to do more on this. What I've thought is I think I'm going to Mod Podge these, and that's simply because I think they just need a little bit more resistance so that they don't get all scuffed and buffed and ripped and tripped. And no, that doesn't rhyme, Dave. Let's stop it now. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to do that. I do believe that I am going to have a hinge, and I'm probably going to have a fabric hinge across here. So I'm going to have a piece of decorative fabric that's going to be a hinge. So this folds up like this, and then, but I think I'm going to decorate the outside first. So I'm going to do it, I'm kind of just toying at the moment, but I think I'm going to do it in book pages. I might do it in matte paper, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be more of a decoupage than just a covering. And then over the top of that, I'm going to have some fabric as a hinge. Now that's the way it is currently in my mind, but I do no planning on this. So anything where I'm doing it as a episodic thing, there is no planning on it. I'm just literally just going with what the flow is at the time. So whilst I do that, I do appreciate that other people will be saying, well, you know, you should have done this or you could have done that. Yes, I could have done, but I haven't sat and planned it. So it's literally just the way that it's going, which I think is the way that most people craft. So not many people sit and plan and know their trajectory. Most people just, sit and do, and it evolves. And I think that's, a nice organic way of crafting. It's also the most mindful way for me to craft. And at these times, uncertain times, messing with my mental health, I just need to do stuff to fill the space that's, could be over cluttered by all the stuff that's going on in the world. So what we're going to do today is we're going to sort these out. So we're just going to put that over to one side. I am going to get a bit of bread bag. So this is from Christmas. This one, this is Christmas bread bag. When did this? The bread went out on date on the 11th of December. Don't worry, I don't still have the bread. So I'm terrible with bread. I buy it and I really enjoy it. I like having toast and I like having sandwiches. There's nothing better than, a nice freshly made sandwich with nice proper butter on it, and then, some salad and maybe some mayonnaise or some salad cream, which I know that, the rest of the people in the world. In fact, I didn't realize that people certainly in America, I didn't realize that you didn't put butter on your sandwiches, which I think is like bizarre, because it's great for acting as a barrier against the moisture in your sandwich. But anyway, yeah, so bread, love bread. I love toast as well. But then sometimes I buy it and I don't eat it, and then when I go to open it, it's furry. So don't eat Yellow snow and don't eat furry bread. They're the two bits of advice, well, the only two bits of advice I'll ever give you. So anyway, I'm just going to glue this bit down. I mean, I realise that when I mod podge it, I won't need to. But I'm going to do that just so it's because otherwise it would annoy me. So, like I say, going to Mod Podge it just to give it kind of a nice coating. And I will get some Mod Podge. I've got this Mod Podge. What's that Mod Podge for? Oh, it's dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Gloss, brilliant, resistant. I've never used that. That's full, and I've never used it. I don't know how I would use anything that was possibly going there. If you're putting your junk journals in the dishwasher, no, I realise it's not for that. But I don't know why I've got it. Don't know. Don't care. Don't need it at the moment. So one day I will sit here and go, oh, I've got just the thing. I've got that Mod Podge that is dishwasher safe. One day I will say that. Today is not that day. So I'm going to use some of this. This is the remainder of my watered down Mod Podge. It's not that watery anyway, but I will put a little bit more. Or shall I use this? Actually, do you know what? I'm going to use my decoupage stuff. I've got, if it hasn't kind of gone off. The problem is, you know, these products that we have, and we use them so infrequently, you open it and it's always a surprise. What's inside? Is it still viable? Is there anything still in here? Oh, it's still in there. It still smells like it did, which is a bit disconcerting kind of smell. You know, like it smells a bit slightly chemically. I don't know what it is. But it smells chemically. So I'm going to get a I have a confession. You know when I used the gold stuff in one of my other videos, I can't remember which one it was, I used something blah 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 blah. Anyway, when I used that, oh, it was for the house. I said I was going to go and put the brush into some water. I didn't. And then I found it welded to my desk. And I keep doing that, and I'm burning through brushes, and it's really bad. So, you know, I'm just being honest. I'm telling you my deepest, darkest secrets. I don't know if has that got a lump in it. Yes, it's definitely lumpy. Is it lumpy? Is the whole thing lumpy? Has it got chunks of? No, it feels okay. It doesn't feel like there's any kind of resistance. We're going to use it anyway, so should I glue it together first? There's another thing. Because I was thinking if I'm gluing it together, maybe if I glue it together first, that's better, because then you're not gluing two shiny surfaces together, you're gluing two porous surfaces together. Let's just do that, Dave. Let's just do that, Dave. Right, okay, let's choose the side that we like the most, the one that we want to see the most. I can't turn it inside out, so I'm kind of stuck with what's on the outside and what's on the inside. That's okay. I prefer that side, so that's the side I'm going to glue on this one, and then this one, that or that. Oh, I think I prefer this. It's a little bit more ropey in the corner, but doesn't have as many straight lines on it, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think it was the right way around anyway. So I'm just going to use some barely comes out. Oh, sorry, no, barely arts glue. And then we're just going to put D A V E was here. Because I'm a child. That's why. Why did I do it like that? I don't know. Just did. All right. Don't ask. Ask no questions. Get told no lies. So let's just kind of make sure that sits together nicely. Nice little frame. Stuck together nicely. So, because we're going to stick it together nicely, we might need something to hold it. Let's use that. And I usually have another one somewhere. Somewhere in the city where the... Oh, I've got my little scrap pad, which another difference that I've found out, that we call it a scrap pad, as in let's just write it down. We call it a scrap pad. Oh no, that's not how you spell scrap, Dave. A scrap pad. Oh, that's pad. There you go. Sorry, can't write. And you call it a scratch pad. So who knew? Who knew there was such a difference? So anyway, I was looking for the clip for that, but I've just put it on there. That's where the clip's gone. So my mind is elsewhere. It's definitely not here. I also noticed in a few videos that this card, which I won't, and now it'll have been cut out, appears, and it's supposed to. It's a bit where it's kind of my clapperboard to tell me where I need to cut. I've obviously whizzed through that part of the video, not thinking, just letting it still exist in the video. So I'm sorry about that. Editing has fallen by the wayside. Has that stuck? It has. Fine. Okay, there's a little bit there that isn't stuck down. I'll use a bit of that. And just so that's just so that when I start painting on, it doesn't kind of flip back over onto the other side. So there we go. Yeah. So I'm going to just paint this on. So hopefully this isn't going to take the colour out, because it's not. I mean, it's tissue paper that I've used. It's not decoupage paper. Yeah, decoupage paper. It's not decoupage paper, so you know it could potentially lose its colour. Just your chewing gum will lose its flavour on the bedpost overnight. The random songs that are coming in my head. But you know, if you've been here for any length of time, or even if you're just returning and you're thinking, oh, it's not changed. No, I'm sorry, I don't. The voices in my head sing very loud and very clear, and they're all singing different songs all at the same time. So, I don't know whether I've talked about this as well. The other thing somebody at work was saying about. No, I was watching a video. Oh yeah, I was watching a video about, like, if you close your eyes and you you imagine like an apple. Let's say you're imagining a red apple. I didn't realise, and this is apparently the thing, whoever you are on the spectrum, you're usually not aware that the others exist, unless it's been brought to your attention previously. When I close my eyes to imagine an apple, I don't see anything. I see nothing. I don't see an apple. I see nothing. I see the words of I don't even see the words. I hear the words of an apple. I can kind of describe an apple. I could describe it using words, but I couldn't tell you an image in my head. And that's where when I say I don't have an imagination, that's what I mean by that. I can't conjure up in my head. And I didn't know that other people could. So, we were talking about this at work, and there are some people at work who were saying that, you know, they can fully form an apple in their mind, and I'm like, wow! It's like, who needs TV if you can do that? So yeah, and then there was something else that we moved on to. It's like the fascinating conversations we have at work when we're working. I hasten to add that most of our conversations are, so we sit in a pod of people. So there's like our department. So I'm part of the central resource team. So I manage my team who do the resources, but then there's a manager of finances that sits with us and all the finance team, and then there's the marketing team, and then there's HR, and who else is there? And that's it. So anyway, we all sit together. So it's our kind of offices, and nothing like the kind of offices you see on TV where they're big dividers and you can't see anybody else. You can see over the desk and you can see next to people. And we all sit in groups of 4, and so opposite me is Nick. Backing onto him is Steve, and he's Nick and Steve are both part of finance, and then facing on to Steve is Sarah, who is the director of resources and finance, and she's part of the team, so she's very down to earth and part of the conversation, and sometimes usually sparks the conversation. So it's a great place to work, so from that point of view. So Nick's opposite me, and then opposite him is Hussam, so diagonally opposite from me is Hussam, and he's HR. And then next to me is Christine, who's my assistant. So, and we all kind of just sit. So we have a pod that we call the pod squad. That's our group of 4 people. And we have, then the wider conversation. Opposite. So, I don't know whether none of you need to know this, but this is how my brain's now going. I need to tell you. So there is a oh, actually that's joined on there. So oh no, no, it's not. Sorry. like that, and then there's 2 desks like that. Then there's a bank of longer desks like that, but they're broken into 4. That's a 2, that's a 4, that's a 4. I sit here. That's Nick. That's Hussam. That's Christine. That's Steve. That's Angie. That's Julie. And that's Sarah. And then Darren sits over here. There's nobody on that one. And there's nobody on those either. So he's HR, he's finance. Let's just pound sign. He's a pound sign, pound sign, pound sign. We're resources, and she's director. So anyway, so Sarah, I can see Sarah from where I sit, and we've got great banter. It's great. We just sit and talk. But Sarah was kind of joining, and she can't, or she also can't picture, and so it felt good to know. But then Christine, who sits next to me, my assistant, thought it was really weird, and she said, well, that's how having that ability to see the sheep in her mind to get her to sleep is what gets her to sleep at night. So, and I said, well, I obviously can't count sheep because I can't see them. And I said, and anyway, it's not the shutting my mind down, it's the quietening the voices that I need to do. And then she was, voices? What voices? When you go to sleep, your voices stop. No, they don't. No, they don't. My internal narrative does not get any quieter. In fact, I think it gets a bit louder because it's got nothing else to drown it out. So, and it's not like it's not the schizophrenia type. Well, at least I don't think it is. It's not like menacing thoughts or anything. It's just oh, I could build this, and how about that? Oh, and I wonder what the circumference of the world is, and in carrots, or the random stuff that drops into my head when I'm trying to fall asleep. So anyway, that's why I listen to things. So I listen to that, I said about listening to the podcast Boring Books at Bedtime, because that just helps drown out all of that noise. So And I didn't know that you guys that don't have all of this going on in your head I didn't know that you existed until we had these kind of conversations at work. So, and my brain, like last night, was just thinking about metaphors for things, and like is not intelligent enough to have a fry up in a cafe, or there's a drink up in a brewery. It's not a drink up, it's the P word that's the equivalent to that we mean getting drunk. That means getting drunk in the UK. Although this was the other conversation we had, was we established that you could basically say anything. You can use any word to describe getting drunk in the UK. So, I got completely hammered, which is a legitimate one that I've heard several times, and heard for a long time. Or you can just put any word in there. I got trampolined, I got rulered, I got banistered, I got stair railed, you can basically just say any word and somebody will know that what you meant is you got absolutely trashed. So there you go. The inner workings of my brain. So that's the reason why I am the way I am. I am what I am. I'm not even my own special creation. I'm just a creation. But then again, we shouldn't focus on the things that divide us. We should focus on the things that unite us. So, and that's a good lesson for the world to learn. So I'm surprised that doesn't have an expiry date. Does glue have an expiry date? Oh no, you see, this is another thing my brain's going. Does glue have an expiry date? I need to Google that. Write that down, Dave, because then you can go away from here and go and write it down and go and find out what. Honestly, anybody that has to put up with me, I'm eternally grateful. Is all I can say. So, I've done that. Let's put that pad back together now that we've drawn on it. And no, that was the wrong one. It was the little one. Because that big bite one is useful for other things. I'll just put that to that shelf. Hopefully the shelf won't fall down now. I'm going to have some water because obviously I've been talking very quickly. So, we're going to have to obviously let that dry. So in order to let that dry, I will let it dry. Let it be. Okay. If I put it on the floor, will I stand on it? Yep. Guaranteed. So now I should be thinking, really, what am I going to do with this? So obviously we know we're going to have to hinge it, but I don't want to hinge it and hide the hinge. I think if we're going to put a hinge on it, we're going to have to make sure that we can see this, aren't we? I think I'm going to decoupage it. I was going to keep this, but I could always leave a space in the. Oh, there's stuff stuck to my fingers. I could always leave a space in the collaging. I need to be careful because I don't want to make this. So this is already quite a stiff hinge. I don't want to make it too stiff by completely covering it. Oh look, it's coming off again. But I think the only way really is to. I'm going to just. It seems to have stuck in all the bits where I licked it, but any places where I didn't. So maybe those people that said maybe there's something in your lick that does. I hope it's not just in my lick, because otherwise people will be coming to me for. Can you just lick this? I've heard you have magical powers in your lick. Let's just try and stick my lick down. It seems to have stuck in some places and not others, so I believe that it's where I've licked it it's stuck, and where I've not licked it, it hasn't. So we're just going to glue it down, which is not really much point, really, is it, when you've got. sticky tape, gummed tape, if it doesn't stick when you gum it. But you know, it's old, so we won't criticise it. Hopefully I get that comment made when I get older. Don't criticise him too much, he's old. My brain, honestly, today is like away with the fairies. Well, I don't think even the fairies wanted it, so it's just away. It's on leave, which is something I had on Friday. I had a day's leave, not for any reason, just because I do so many hours. My hours build up, and I don't get to use them properly, so I just book a day off here and there. And I haven't even used any of them. Oh, I've booked some holidays now. So I have 32 days holiday annual leave. Because I can't remember what it was. Oh, because I've been there 5 years, I've gained 5 extra days. That doesn't happen every year. It's basically some anniversaries you get extra days. And I didn't get 5 all in one go. I got 2 extra days after the first year, and then 2 extra days after 3 years, I think it was, and then an extra day after 3 years, and 2 extra days after 5 years. Anyway, but I still started off with 27 days, which is amazing. So anyway, there's a lot of conversation today, isn't there? There's not a lot of peace and quiet. If you came here for the peace and quiet, you are out of luck. Sorry. That ship has sailed. So, let's have a look at what pages I've got. Now, I've pulled those out, but I can't think what we're doing inside here. So these are... yeah, that. Do you know something? I can't even pronounce that word. Conjugation. Yeah. I am dyslexic, that's all I can say. So don't come at me because I can't pronounce it. And I was going to get my phone. I don't know when my phone is, so have I put my phone? Oh, it's there. I think I put my phone in the bin or something. Let's see if that'll tell me how to pronounce that. It's probably something very easy, and I'm just making a meal out of a mountain out of a molehill. You see, metaphors. Tonjug Ation. When I started typing that in, it's like came up with conjunctivitis, which is not what it is. So, please just tell me how to say it.
Conjugation.
Conjugation. I have heard of it before. It's like a congregation, but with a jug. Somebody brought a jug to the congregation, and now it's a conjugation. Look, don't ask any questions. I have no answers for you. I do not know why or how my brain works, and I don't even know whether it does. It's one of those, it just is, alright? So we're just going to have to go with it. And if you're, if you want to judge anybody, go and judge somebody else. I don't care. Let's just get some things. I always get way too many of these things out when what I'm not going to have, if I'm just not having it, I'm not having the boring bit on the edge. Can use that for all sorts of things, but not this. So I'm just going to tear some of these off. Ow, I just scratched my nail. Has it gone? Look, I've had this white bit on my nail. It's grown out. And I don't know what it is. Like people used to say it was like lack of calcium and stuff, but my calcium is absolutely fine. I mean, and other people have said like it's shock where you've knocked your finger. It could well have been. I mean, it's quite possible. I do a lot of craft. but I don't know what it was, and I don't really care. No, it's not that I don't care. I mean, like, it hasn't annoyed me in any way. It might have annoyed you, but it hasn't annoyed me. Right. I don't think that normal glue will stick to this. I think this has got something on it that makes it not stickable. Non-sticky. Right, okay, so maybe that's not the first thing to do, is it? The first thing to do would be to give it a bit of a sand. Right, so I have somewhere, I was going to use my little rotary thing, but I might be here a long time doing all of this. Let me come back to you. So no, couldn't find any scratchy stuff. Sandpaper is what I meant. Couldn't find any sandpaper, so I'm just going to use, this is just an emery board, so I'm just going to use this. Sure, I just glued that bit down, just to kind of give it a bit of a key. I've got the key, I've got the secret, I've got the key to, yeah, Dave, that as well. So I've I don't need to kind of go over it too much, because I am gonna, whatever I put on it, I will then Mod Podge it over, and hopefully that will stick it down. And like I say, I've just got to be careful on this bit. I don't want to make this too stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandpaper around the bird's bit. Sand it, not even sandpaper, just sand it. Sandy, baby, la 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 la, la la la. And yeah, don't do that, Dave, because it's not even fun. I'll never get a copyright strike against me, because nobody could recognise what I'm trying to say. Just people just think I'm in pain and I'm signalling for help. So, so I make myself laugh, but that's the point, isn't it? That's not the point, is it? Couldn't become a median. A median. I can't even speak. A comedian. Because I can't speak. Because I can't make other people laugh. I can make myself laugh. So anyway, like I say, just going to give this bit of a key, just to give the glue something to bond to, and hopefully that'll be enough to make it stick. I don't really want to go down the route of having to use professional grade glue. And I watched like my version of a horror movie the other day. I watched something on YouTube about why glue works so well on skin, why super glue works so well on skin. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised I was able to sleep. So, because like some of the horrors, like some parts of the world put their super glue into things that look like eye drop bottles, and people have put them in their eyes. Oh my gosh, people with their eyes stuck together. Honestly, it was horrific. I couldn't cope at all. And then like why it bonds together so well in your skin, and people like doing this and like pulling the skin apart. Oh my gosh, honestly, my horror movie, like I say. So yeah, that's not. It wasn't pleasant for me. Oh dear, look. Oh well, at least we're going to stick something over the top of it, and it'll hold it down nicely. So, what else were they saying about it? And how like they had to change the recipe, so it's now so a similar type of thing is now used in surgery to bond wounds back together, but it's not super glue, because super glue breaks down, it's broken down by the body and releases things like formaldehyde into the body and all sorts of things. Honestly, it was like, so, and it was developed by accident. So yeah, don't know why that, and I don't know why it came up in my feed. I think it must have heard me talking about you know how like when you're talking about something and then for weeks your feed on social media is plagued by that thing. So did you see me? I was about to use my sleeve to wipe it. And if I can't find anything else, I will be using my sleeve. No, it looks like I'm using my sleeve, folks, because I did have loads of like things, you know, cloths and things, but I can't find any of them because the place needs a tidy, to be fair. Anyway, let's just use this. This is my crafting shirt anyway. So. That's the reason why you see me wearing the same colour all the time now, because I was ruining so many different things. I just decided to have one thing that I'm happy to ruin. So now this is the one I can't go to the door in and I can't go out shopping in. Anyway, so now I've done that, hopefully it's stuck. Which one of these pieces was flipping up there? So yeah, so the glue, the super glue thing. So everything all my worst fears about it were all basically realised in this video. It was horrific. Well, for me it was horrific. People will just watch it and go, what's your problem? So I think I might just do some of this around the edge. So yeah, if you came here for a nice quiet time, I'm really sorry today is not the day for your quietness, because I'm just going to sit here and talk to you because there's so much going on in my mind. Do I want to use this to do all of this, or do I want to use... No, that's not the lid for... Yes, I need to go back to school because I clearly don't... You know, all that time that you spent putting all those shapes in the right holes? Well, that didn't work for me, clearly. Where's me lid for that? It's there. Yeah, so... madness is optional. Well, it's not here. Whoever fooled you into thinking that madness was optional is telling you porcupines, because it isn't. Not in my house. It's not optional. So do you think maybe I should use this, because this is made for decoupage. It has a purpose, and maybe that purpose is what we need today. So where's my little glue book? On the floor, wherever it lands, basically. So I'm going to try this now. If this doesn't work, then we'll know not to use this again for this purpose anyway. I mean, I've had that years when I used to do decoupage-y things, and I know this is going to be quite less random decoupage than I would normally do, just because I wanted to try a different style. You know, I might make it and I might go, you know what, I hate that, but at least I've tried it. So, and why ever not? Try it, you might like it. You've got to try it before you buy. Oh, it's a nice little comment. I might keep that. For those who want something different, don't come here. So yeah, the super glue thing. You know, if I can find it again, I will link it. I don't know whether I tried to scrub it from my memory and my history. I don't know, but you know, if I've got it, I'll link it, and then you can all be fascinated by this video. So yeah, so it was kind of discovered accidentally. They were trying to find a substance that could replace glass lenses in line of sight. You know, the things that you have on weapons and stuff, the stuff that I'm not really interested in. So I'm glad that wasn't the lead into the video, otherwise I'd never have watched it. But yeah, so it was like saying that that's how it was kind of discovered, and they were trying to do, and they wanted something. So the beauty about this super glue is it dries crystal clear. However, it sticks to everything in the meantime. So, and that's where it was kind of abandoned for the use that they were originally thinking, and they went with something else. So they went with its properties for being able to hold two objects together. Although there are things that it doesn't glue to. So, because that's what people always joke, isn't it? Like, so how is it that super glue sticks to everything, but it doesn't stick to the bottle it's in? Well, it's because it's different. There are some things it doesn't stick to, which is a good job, really. So, and the other thing is, my super glue, can't get the lid off it now, can I? It's glued itself shut. So, it does glue itself into its own bottle. So, I did, when I made the rest of that, the divider, I had to, so instead of taking the little fine pointy squeezy bit off, I had to unscrew it and go for my deepest, darkest fears and actually get up close and personal to it, with a moment where I kind of just got a tiny bit on my fingers and they were just a little bit stuck together, and pulled them apart quickly and had a bit of a panic. So anyway, you know, you didn't come here to learn about my fears. Well, I don't know, you might have done. So yeah. So yeah, stop again saying so yeah. But so yeah. Now I know that this means that some of this text is not going to be straight, but I'm not worried about the straightness. You know, that's never been something that's ever worried me, being straight. So, so I'm just rolling with it. Have I used a piece of this? I think I've used that. Yeah, I've used a piece of that. Let's use something else, Dave. There's these pieces. It's quite thin. These have been coffee dyed. They weren't naturally this colour. They've been coffee dyed this colour. But again, they're dictionary pages, which are kind of made from the same stuff that Bible pages would be. But I couldn't tear up a Bible. So. Just not in me to do such things. So, yeah, so super glue, you heard it here, probably last, to be fair. It definitely wouldn't be the first time I've heard about super glue and its properties, but it was just fascinating. So this does have a definite smell of horse's hoof about it. It's not a selling point. I'm not saying go rush out and buy some. It smells like horse's hoof, but it does definitely have that kind of odour. Oh, it didn't go straight, did it? Did it? No, it blooming didn't, did it? So I think again, this is something that I'll cover this one with you guys, but I kind of think I might just do the rest of it just on my own, because nobody, you know, we've talked about watching glue dry. Nobody wants to watch glue dry. It's paint drying's worst enemy. So, you know, it's not. I don't think it's as interesting as paint drying. You can see a change in paint drying. You can't really see much of a change in glue drying. We're going to go with this kind of like rectangle-y building thing, and use a variety of different papers, although the variety is running out. We're going to switch between these papers, and then, you know, we'll go from there. So I'm going to go for some long ones as well. That's simply because it makes it quicker, doesn't it? You can cover more surface area if you go for a long one. So I mean, all the sizes do the job. So Right, I'm going to do this one. Sorry, man. Yes. So anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? Quickly, move on. Move on. Find something to talk about, Dave. And when I'm struggling to find something to talk about really quickly, I can't. So this is the reason why nobody ever asks me to lie, because I can't. Two things: I can't lie, and then I can't change the subject quick enough. So so don't ask me to ever be your alibi, because it's not going to happen. Quite like the way that kind of lies. I've never really done it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I've never really done kind of a square decoupage. I've always done random ripping. The random ripping doesn't always work, though, does it? Because then you end up with like really random pieces. You have to fill randomly. Again, don't dip it in there, Dave. This is when it all goes wrong, because you're not very... Oh, you didn't put any colour around that. Do you still use it? Can you still use it? Will you be able to cope with it if you don't? It's not very well edged, but it has a little bit of edging on it. Yeah, I like that. I like the way that's going. I don't like the smell of this glue. That's something I definitely don't like. I don't like that smell. Alright, okay, that's the piece, the keeper piece there. This is a full. This is full. This is full. Let's use another piece of this. Let's use some more writing. Let's use this bit here. I might rip the whole thing off, but I probably won't. We'll use the top bit. Lose the thing, that thing, whatever this is called, a ruler. Lose the ruler. Oh, squeaky. I beg your pardon. I never promise you a rose garden. I beg your pardon. Yes, Dave. So some of these are more glossy than others, but I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll probably Mod Podge or decoupage or whatever the gubbins out of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it starts off like, because once it's got a coating on it you won't be able to tell the difference. So let's put this one down here like that, and then maybe that piece, do we want that up there, or is it going to be too matchy, samey, whoops-a-daisy, Jimmy flop, flipping heck. So, oh, the other thing, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about, is I just wanted to kind of get this off my chest, but, you know, Amazon. Come on, Amazon. Your search engine is, for such a big company that does a lot with AI, your search function, I realise your search function is there to make it so annoying that we end up buying something else, but I was looking for, so I'm making, you might recall that I am making some paper flowers for my nephew, well, for his and his fiance's wedding. And I wanted to, I'm just experimenting with a few things, a few ideas I've got. That nothing set in stone, but I wanted some crepe paper. Now, crepe paper, for me, I used it all my life, childhood, etc. Let me just take a drink. But can I find it on Amazon? So I typed in crepe paper. As I tried crepe paper and creped paper, both tried, and it brought me up everything but creped paper. So in the feed there was an electric toothbrush, there was tissue paper, there was like poster paper, there was decoupage paper. There, what else was the other random thing? Oh, there was a pair of scissors. There was a saucepan, a portable hob. What? Not a single bit of crepe paper. And then I was like frustrated trying every kind of different which way. I searched for tissue paper, knowing that it's not tissue paper, and I couldn't find that. Then I finally found something that said, I mean, like they were on, like we're talking about like the 18th page at this point, and it says it in the title. It was called creped tissue wrapping paper. You know how like they try and hit every kind of like thing that you might be looking for. And then further down in the description, it said creped paper. And so I ordered it, and guess what came? Tissue paper. Bit annoying because it's not the same thing. So anyway, I've kept it because it's in some different colours anyway, and I just thought, well, I can use it for something. Sorry, I can't rip that, so I might have to just trim it, but badly trim it. Might just see if I can. Let's just do edge it with this. So anyway, yeah. So I couldn't. So anyway, it came, and I was like, "Oh, for goodness sake, this is not what I ordered." All of that searching as well. So then I went on to Google, and I thought this happens all the time when I've looked for trimmers, when I've looked for pens and things. Everything comes up except for the thing that I want. Now, I will say I appreciate that Jeff Bezos is a very poor man with no money whatsoever, and he needs all the money he can get. So us consumers buy random stuff that we didn't need because we had no other choice. We gave up. We just pressed purchase because we couldn't cope anymore. But if it's not what you need, it's not what you need. And you know what it's made me do? It's not made me go, you know what, I'm going to buy something anyway. It's made me go, I'm going to buy it somewhere else then. So off to Google I went, searching for the, you'd be on Amazon, you are more likely to find preserved hen's teeth in unicorn tears than you are to find crepe paper. In fact, maybe I should have looked for that. So I got really frustrated, went to Google, and off to Google I went, searching through, and then there was a local art store that had got some crepe paper, but they hadn't got it in stock. The one that I wanted, the colour that I wanted, I definitely want, because I wanted a beigey colour, not the most exciting or stimulating of colours, but I wanted that colour because they're going for a very natural look to their wedding. So I found the product that I wanted. Unfortunately, it was out of stock. So with the independent art supply company. So anyway, I ended up going back to the search and looking again, and then I clicked on this one that was basically exactly the same as the one I was looking for originally with the art supply store. I clicked on it, and it took me to Amazon. What the? And it's in the title. It was creped paper. What? It's not. It was not visible. I tried again. No, it wasn't visible. I couldn't find it if I tried to find it independently of Google. And what the heck? If Google can find it, why the heck can't Amazon? Honestly, I was so incensed. I was almost like, I'm not going to buy it, but I need it, so I bought it. But yeah, so yeah, did anybody else find this? And like in the age of AI, when everything is much more a logical search, and like you can find stuff if you need it, and it'll find answers to questions that you never thought you needed, like super glue. but it can't find the product that you're looking for. These are not the droids you are looking for. So, there we go. So that was was my little foray into annoyance on Amazon. Just find it. Like, why? I don't understand who's winning from this, because if people will turn on you, Jeff Bezos, they will. They'll say, you know what? You can't be bothered to show me what I want. I can't be bothered to shop with you, and I'll go somewhere else. And I tell you now, if I say local, it's not local, but if that independent store, art store, had got it, I would definitely have bought it just to annoy Jeff. Sorry, I know probably got some, sniper drone focused on me now. So, but hopefully, because I've been so nice to the AI, they won't take me out in the first round. So, but yeah, so you're the object of my rant, because I just don't have anybody else to rant to. So, you're here, I'm here. Let's rant together. I mean, am I the only person that would think like that? If you're not going to show me what I'm looking for, then I'm not going to buy it. I think that looks really nice. I like the way I've done that, actually. I've never done it like that. I've never done it as, very square pieces. I'd say never. I've never done it with book pages. I might have done it with my own digitals, but never with book pages. So I really like the way that's turned out, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I don't know whether I might just do the front of this. I might speed it up. You might get a bit of a jingle mingle, a bit of a mingly jingle, and we'll see. Anyway, so yeah. So I mean, I probably keep talking to myself anyway. So if I decide not to speed it up, then you'll just be hearing what I'm talking about, which is nothing really. Maresy totes and dozy totes and little lambsy tivy, a kiddly tivy too, wouldn't you? Oh, well, yeah, the other thing I've been doing is I've obviously been researching different flowers, so different paper flowers. I've made paper flowers. Paper flowers are basically my bag, which was the thing that I really started doing before I got into the junk journaling thing, the messy crafts, because you can't really make flowers on the same desk that you do this kind of thing, because you have to keep them clean. So I have to get the hazmat suit and the tarpaulin out when I'm crafting at my desk to make flowers. Oh, I didn't wipe that down like I did the other one. There you go. I have now. So yeah, so I've what was I saying? I don't know. What was I saying? Who knows? Yeah, so I've been looking at different flowers and things, doing some research. So I was thinking I might do a bit of a kind of a little series of making flowers towards this this thing that I'm doing. The thing, the thing. No, you don't know the thing, that's fine. The bridal bouquet. There you go. Got there in the end. Back in the room. So, yeah, so I might do a little thing regarding, connected to that. Might do, like I say, a little series, but I haven't decided. And, is it something you'd like to see? I don't know. Is it? Only you can tell me. But I want to make some very different style ones, because they want a very woodland theme. So there is going to be some that I won't have made before. Not that that, worries me, because I'm not. I like making paper flowers. I know that I can kind of basically turn my hand to any of the chosen. Which way round do I want that? Maybe not the big white area, big blank area, I mean. So yeah, that's an idea I had. Obviously that's if if Amazon will let me, because if I can't get the supplies, because maybe Jeff Bezos doesn't want them to get married. Maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know their friends. I'm just related. I just do as I'm told. So let's take some of this off the edge and take some of the text out of the middle. I have a piece of that there. I have text and maybe a equation. I can't remember how you pronounce it, so I'm not even going down that route. Conjugation. Yeah, I just remembered congregation and just thought it's not congregation, but it sounds like that. It's got a jug in the congregation. That's what I basically remembered. Look, these are the things that we have to do when we're dyslexic to kind of make our way through life. So little ways to remember things. Unlike the things that they teach you at school, so all that stuff where it said I before E, except after C, unless it's this and that and about 40 words that don't comply to that rule. Oops, don't do that, Dave. That's not what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Does that not stick? We're not sticking now. No, we're not, are we? Put that down like that. There we go. It is now. It's sticking now. I think there's a bit of that brown tape that's peeling up there. But it's not a problem, because we're making it look new old. Tear that bit off. So yeah, it's it's just something I'm toying with. I probably will do it whether you guys want it or not. A bit like Amazon, really. This is not what you were looking for, but this is what you're having. Oh my gosh, I've turned into Jeff Bezos in like 20 seconds. What the heck? What's wrong with me? Oh dear. Dave, you think you're funny, but you're not. And I'll tell you one thing. Jeff Bezos doesn't think you're funny. Jeff Bezos's drones don't think you're funny either. But I don't care. I don't care what he thinks. I don't care what anybody really thinks. I just care what I think. I'm going to put that up there. Oh no, I'm overthinking this process now, aren't I? I just need to glue. Just glue, Dave. Just smoosh and glue. So yes, at the weekend also I spent, not the weekend actually, because I said I had Friday off. So it was Friday I spent doing a bit of prep. And I take a day off work to do more work for the channel. So I took a day off work. I'd spent the day in the craft room coming up with some new ideas for One Sheet Wonders. So I've got more ideas again. Honestly, I don't know how I do it, really. I don't know how I manage to come up with new ideas with one sheet of paper. How can you have so many answers? I need more water, excuse me. I wouldn't drink so much if I didn't talk so much, but I do, so 'Tis the way it is. That's the way it is. Oh, oh dear! Everything's covered in glue now as the brush rolls away. This is different paper to the other stuff. This is not as thin, so I'm just going to use this because it's different texture, so different typeface. But still does the job. Oh, I can grip two together as well. I'm going to do a big one. To about there, I think. And then I'm just going to... Oh, I don't know whether this is... Is that too... Is it too much the same colour as that? Possibly. Is it the same? It's the same thing, that's why. Maybe just a bit of a smoosh of colour. Just a smoosh, doesn't need a lot. Just to give it a bit of a yellowed appearance. That's fine. Like I say, it wasn't going to be a lot, it's just a little. And I do like having the different coloured edges. I think that's also helping it. You know, a bit of a contrast edge. Oh, that's got a bit wet now, isn't it? Let's fold that over. Looks like there's a doggo there. There's a doggo. I'll put a decent amount on. Can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, pop that on there. I need something to break it up. Might just do a bit of... Oh, I was going to have that on here, wasn't I? Might have that there, actually. Yeah, I'll have that there. Just go for that. Not overthink it. When I overthink things, that's when it all looks too different from what was in my mind's eye. Because I can't start panicking, thinking, oh no, it needs to look like this, and it doesn't need to look like anything, Dave. It needs to just look like whatever you wanted it to look like. I like this very much like it. Okay, these are all bits of scrappiness, which I think I'm going to keep because I think I've got an idea for those. I think I'm going to put some words on them because they're great backdrops for, you know, when you're doing words. And great backdrops for if you've got some of those Tim Holtzy words as well. Just something to stick them onto is nice. So that piece, that's also a piece as well. So this, don't want to cover anything up now, do I? I don't really want to go a different direction. I want to stay in this direction. Maybe a piece of this. We're going to just tear the edge off and tear a strip, because then we can use it as and how we feel. Tear a bit off the top. That wasn't the top, but you know, it did the job. It didn't really do a very good job because it wasn't straight. So, and then maybe there. I'll just, if that goes there, that's fine. There's my inky thing there. Could go a little bit darker and then it'll look different to that one next to it. Yep, that's fine, I'll do that. Move that out of the way. I love the way that this looks. I'm just in love with it. I'd like to use that, but it's a bit dark. Or maybe that side. No, because if I'm going to use that side, I might as well use something that's different. So let's see if I've got something else I can use. Oh, I've got some more of. Got some of that. It's a bit light coloured, but I might use it and just colour it a bit. How much do I want? Oh yeah, let's do down to the end of that paragraph. Is this some of my Hungarian? I don't know. No, it isn't. It looks like it's French. Vic bought me some Hungarian books at Christmas, so it's lovely, you know, having, especially when I can incorporate some of him into my crafts. He's a lovely man, and he makes me very happy. So, oh, there's going to be a gap. I have to find something to fill the gap. Mind the gap. See, he's talked himself out now. So I knew that would happen. Bit of chat, and then I go quiet. Not because I've got nothing. Well, it is because I've got nothing to say, but it's not because I don't want to say anything. It's because I've got nothing worthy to add to the conversation. So I think we'll have a little bit of this down there. In fact, I might just go for the full length of it, because it'll cover up some of that. Do I want to, right, what do I want to do with this? I might cover up illustrated part and leave the encyclopedia of birds on it. So I'm going to cover up to about there. I want to cut the tiniest bit off the bottom. Cut, tear, same difference. Yeah, that'll do. Just a bit of ink around this. Bit of glue on the back. There we go. Try to have it a little bit off center so it's not, doesn't look like it's just a continuation. Oh, I like that. I like the way that's looking. So that and that together. Yes, I'm liking that a lot. Okay, so let's try. I was going to stop here, but I might just keep going. And this piece I will talk to myself on, because you're probably not going to see this.
Dave's got the scraps from way back when, turning trash into treasure again, flipping pages with a dash of flair. In his world, nothing's rare. Stickers, stamps, and old postcards, gluing memories like a work of art. If a mirror flies across the screen, he's creating magic like you've never seen. Dash of Dave with paper dreams, crafting worlds, or so it seems. Jump to joy with every page. Watch him set the stage. Buttons, ribbons, vintage lace, he brings smiles to every face. Lost in layer stories told, in his hands they're worth pure gold. Colors clash but they both blend so neat. Washi tape makes it all complete. Step by step
there you go. I finished doing my decoupage, well, collaging. I don't know where one ends and the other begins. Anyway, that's what I've done. I'm gonna leave it to dry, because once it's dry, I think I will cover it in some of that decoupage stuff, and then we will move on to another part next time. Now, where's the other bit? Oh, let's get this other piece out back. It's not in the outback, Dave. So this has kind of gone shiny, which I quite like, because it's got that kind of, you know, like I can't think what the technique was called, but it was it used to be used. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, that's going to get glued into there, and then we'll start thinking about what we're going to put in it. So obviously that's the bit that I was worried about. Is that going to go? Oh, it's got a bit of a crack in it, but we don't mind, do we? Because why don't we mind? Because we want it to look old, and it's got a bit of a crack, so we'll just tape it off with a bit of sellotape. That's what we'll do. We'll make some aged sellotape to go in it as well. So there we go. That's where we are with that. I won't keep that on there. I don't think it's quite completely dry. I'll just show you what it's going to look like that. And obviously we'll have some kind of decorative hinge on there. But yeah, that's where we're going. That's where we are at the moment. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind me having a rant and a chat and amusing myself generally. And I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you so wish. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Lots of love from me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Bye. More kisses. Wow.